All right, this is the bowling ball assignment. This is basically kind of to show weight with the same idea of the bouncing ball and using the graph editor to manipulate and change things so it falls in a better way. We're going to start with the bowling ball and let's move it up there and then shift it over. Let's have it closer to the edge because I want to have it move slowly. And let's have it just sit there for a little bit. Start on frame 10. And then we're going to go, let's give it about a little over a second. We're working at 24 frames a second. Let's switch it over to 30. Like I said, I'm a little bit more comfortable with that. You can see the key is off. Right click, let's snap it. I'll move it to 10. Let's compress this to 150 for now. All right. I'm gonna go to frame 60, move it over, bring it down. If you want, just zero it out. Now we can kind of figure out the time. It feels slow. It feels a little fast. Let's add another second in. Let's go to 90. That feels better. Now let's put a revolution in there. Negative 360. I'm just going to spin once. I spun it on the Z. It doesn't look like it's going to want to spin on the Z. It's going to want to spin on the X. The red line is X, the green line is Y, and the blue is Z. That's universal for the translation also. So negative 360 on that. I did it on the wrong frame. I'm going to middle mouse it over to 90 and then come over and delete this one. That did not work out. I think I hit S up here. That was why. There we go. Now we need it to fall at the right time. So basically, this is when it can be falling. So I'm going to go one frame before. I'm going to drop a key here. The height I need to figure out is here. Copy that. And then paste it here. As you can see, it's a little odd of it falling there, but that's fine. And then let's have it feel like it's going to hit the ground. Feels like it should hit the ground about 77. Let's see how that looks. All right, it's kind of in the ballpark, but we have our moments. We have the fall, we have the rotation, we have the start and go. Now let's jump in the graph editor and make this a little bit cleaner, a little bit smoother. So the rotation first is on the X. I want to make sure this stays kind of smooth and consistent. The fall is the big part that's really kind of breaking this. It's falling too late. And it slows down before it hits the ground. It eases in. We don't want it to ease in, we want it to hit the ground hard. So I'm going to select this, hit F. I want this to be angled, but I want this to be flat, so I got to break it. Oops. I wanted to hit F in here, I already did apparently. Make this a little bit bigger so it's a little bit easier to see. Crank that up. So now it's going to have more hang time and then fall pretty hard. But as you can see, it falls too late. I want it to fall kind of around 49. So here's the cool part about the graph editor. If you drew this, this would not work out very well. But since this is the up and down motion, and it's starting to fall on frame 62, 63, instead of 49, well, and this is when it hits the ground, well, I can just select that part. Move it over. I'm not changing anything with the left and right motion. I'm just changing when it falls. That's one of the beauties of the graph header. Now it's going to go, 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 and fall then. And so it's falling maybe a little too early. And if we look at the rotation, it feels like it might be going a little too fast. So I'm going to go to my rotation first. Let's lift this up a little bit. And let's scrub. That looks better. Let's go back to that fall. So you can see it's falling too soon now. So let's have it fall about then. So select those two keys, shift it over. That's a little late. Let's shift it back, maybe 2. So now we're running into that weird issue of it maybe going too slow for the fall. So I want to make sure it falls without clipping. There we go. Still clips. It's been a while since I've done this. How do I get it not to clip? So I think the way I can get it not to clip is let's have it fall at the right time. So right now you can see that's not right. And then it starts to fall here and it's looking pretty good. I have a key on 66, I don't. All right. I also have a key on 63. I'm going to see what happens if I delete it. Nothing. All right, between here and here, I need to tweak the translation of the fall. I'm going to drop a key. I'm going to drop a key. And then I want to modify my, I think that's my, the Z here. So what I can do, either I can just move it out or I can move this down. All of a sudden it picks up a little speed as it comes around that edge. As you can see, that's problem. There's no roll at the end. So what I want to do is maybe take these and pull it down. Still has momentum. But I'm not a big fan of the distance it's going. So let's pull it up. So I kind of want it to, definitely want it to hit closer to here. All right. But I want to fix this in between. So I'm going to break this and just modify this side. Clears that edge. Probably not that side. I'm going to have to do both. Break, break, little push, little push here. Now it clears the edge, but you see a little jump. I don't like that little jump, so I'm going to pull that back and pull this down a little bit. All right. There. It feels that the spin might be. Let me take off the light. All right. Overall, I'm liking it. Now let's give it a little bounce once it hits the ground. It's here. I'll have it bounce up in 1 frame, come down in 2, and then a little bounce right afterwards to give it some weight. So I'm kind of pulling it down. I'm going to come over to here and make sure my down is actually down. So you can zero it out there. I'm going to attempt to zero it out. Apparently I'm not. There we go. And again, you don't need to fix this one, but I'll fix them both by breaking it, lifting that. This one you technically also don't need a lift because it's happening within 1 frame, but I always like doing it for continuity. And then we have a little bounce when that thing hits the ground. Excellent. I'm going to watch that roll to see if it's rolling fast enough. I think it is. Now let's have it settle and anticipate the motion. I'm feeling the rotation's too much. Let me get rid of these keys in between. I'll lift that up even higher. Now that looks better. Perfect. So I'm going to take 18, 16, and take it to 4. It pulls back and then rolls. Little anticipation. You can see it's too much. It's kind of like a quick little thing. I want to cut that down in half, so you're just going to see it kind of pull back even tinier. And then I want this to settle in. Really start to see it sliding. Everything's looking good till about here. We get sliding. So we can actually select you could either hit S and drop a key, or you could select the line and drop a key here. You can see it's moving not enough. Pull that down. Might be a little bit too much now. So I hit F to frame in. There we go. So that's feeling a lot smoother. Probably going still a little too much. Reduce that. That looks better. All right, then I want it to kind of roll back in. So take 84. I'll give that 15 frames. Go to 115. Drop a key. So you're going to see it come in and roll back. And I want to do one more. Take 106 to 130. Nope. I guess I'm going to go 140. And there we go. And it settles in. So it's still, the falling should always be feeling relatively the same for a small ball or big ball, other than maybe a feather, of course, that has air resistance. These objects don't really have air resistance. If you want to have a little fun on top of this, feel free to select the box. So I'm going to drop a key on 65. When it hits the ground, it's going to come up. Make it come up. I'll take 65. So it took about 4 frames to come up. So let's have it 4 frames to come down. And then a little bit for 2 frames. 2 frames again to come back down. So it'll bounce twice. Excellent. And then let's make it actually bounce better. Select my bottom ones, I'll break them. Lift, 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 lift. Now it has this nice little bounce. Gives it a little extra weight. Feel that thump. And then if you want to, we can have it bounce away. So I'm going to 85, pull a little bit out, go to my Z, and so we have a key here. So now it's going to go and then slide away. I want it to go right when it bounces up. So I got to get rid of these two keys. And if I want it to just go, I need this to be straight. So let's break it, make it straight. And I might give it a little extra energy so it really kind of slows down by the end. So it really kind of shoots away and slides and stops. So hopefully you're seeing that you can affect the overall translation, rotations, by using the graph editor. And that's when you become more comfortable with the understanding that these keys are change over time on these particular axes or orientations. And so you can have some really nice modifications to it without having to like go frame by frame and clean everything up. Excellent. So now we have a little bowling ball roll. Just frame it up and play blast. And then we're done.